obviously Bryce had an incredible night. That connection that he had with Janice as a defensive coach, what was it that was so hard for them to stop? Why was that connection so important?
Well, it's because we had the same problem. So there's a good player, and their defensive system is very similar to ours, and so just all the extra work on pre-snap recognition, and then whatever routes might work against the technique or the coverages they were playing, we were just able to recognize and then execute at a higher level. And it starts with the recognitions. We were able to recognize, then execute against what we were seeing more consistently than we have this year.
Mike and Doug.
You mentioned, actually first, do you have an update for us on Brenton Nelson?
Brenton Nelson's out for the season.
And in the third quarter, it did not look like you guys were going to get another defensive stop tonight. What allowed you to get those two big fourth down stops in the fourth quarter?
Well, really, there's not a call on that sheet that Coach Howell didn't use. Now that we've lost another secondary player, it was just a moving target of trying to match the right players at the right time. Not only Jalen Baker, but Tenye Dixon played tonight, and we used Devontae at a number of different positions. So it's, week 9 or week 10 now in the season, and we're running out of players. And so the secondary was one of our deepest at the beginning of the year, and I think 6 now have gone down. And so Coach Howell was doing his best to make calls to match the existing personnel against matchups that weren't in our favor, and we got it right a couple of times at the right time.
Doug?
I may be mistaken, but I think Bryce's 65-yard touchdown run was his career longest. Talk about the impact of that play to start the second half.
Wow. How did we need it? Not only in this game, but it's something we were really counting on and expecting and hopeful for more throughout the year. And with that early injury in fall camp, and then our backup quarterback, Brennan Armstrong's injury, we haven't been able to just use him that much. But we knew tonight we'd commit to that. That wasn't a designed run. That was obviously a scramble. But he knew and we knew that without his legs, we're not going to have the success that we want down the stretch. And so a 65-yard run from your quarterback on a pass play is, boy, what a nice bonus to have. And that makes a lot of things that don't go well just when he has the ability to do that.
Dave?
Bronco, were you worried about your players being overwhelmed by how important this game was, and the fact that they weren't? What does that say about the state of your program at this point?
Yeah, they literally were excited to play. I haven't seen them that kind of optimistic and joyful and anticipatory, and it just didn't seem like the circumstance was too big, and it didn't seem like the pressure was there. It just kind of was. It almost like they had surrendered the outcome, and they were just going to go play as hard as they could, come what may. And that was refreshing to see. And not only before the game, but at halftime, they were just really anxious to take this challenge on. And as someone that cares about them so much and is responsible for helping them and guiding them, that they're now looking forward to hard things like that, that's going to serve them well.
Teal?
You mentioned Brennan finally being healthy. Had you been sitting on that gadget play for a while just waiting to use it?
No. We thought we'd have to steal possessions this game, and we had actually 2 others that we were ready to use. And Coach Brumfield just designed that one this week. And so it looked great in practice, and the head coach was got lucky to call it at the right time.
Jeff?
Carolina had 2 long touchdown passes and went up 17-10. Did you feel like the final drive in the first half was pivotal? Because they had 3 timeouts left, and I think if you go 3 and out there, maybe they get another score before halftime.
Yeah, I mean that was the energy that gave us at halftime, and the momentum to charge into the second half, and just the way and the methodical way that we drove the field. It was just our sideline with every offensive drive that was successful. I think there was an optimism that I don't think our team has felt, because we hadn't played that well offensively on the road, and now we're not only scoring, but we're not turning it over, and we're converting, and it just was it just led to a different energy, a different optimism, a different confidence, and a different belief, which was really fun.
Colin?
The defense defense pitched a shutout in the fourth quarter. What can you
Oh.
say about sort of responding after the rough third?
Yeah, I'd say rough 3 quarters. UNC is they've played so many close games and they've been really strong in the fourth. And I think just our defensive culture is really strong, and we've played so well all year. And there's just a lot of pride in those kids, and it was bothering them certainly that they were getting scored on and they were struggling to make stops, but they weren't bickering, but they were just so determined and frustrated. And so I think that there was just a I don't know what better word than pride, but they were just like, this isn't us, and we want to do something about it. And that doesn't come from coaching. That was their decision.
Brett.
Coach, you mentioned Brenton out for the season. When did the injury happen? How long did you guys know, and how much prep time did the young kids get?
He's been playing all year with it, and we've been managing it the very best we can, and it finally just became unbearable. And so that decision was made on Thursday of this week. So we then scrambled as fast as we could after that to adjust our secondary.
Jerry.
The little touch lob pass down the goal line to Calais, was that something that you've been saving? Or?
Nope, designed and probably the best call of the game by Robert and our coordinator. It was just, and as soon as I tell him good job, he won't take a compliment. It's just, the players did an awesome job, but it was a great call.
We'll go David and Mike for our last two.
For all of Janet's catches tonight, how big the fumble.
It's huge. I mean, when you go in for a fumble, it's not like it's all fun and games down there. I mean, there's what happens at the bottom of the fumble pile stays at the bottom of the fumble pile, and it's not an accident. Jano is the one in there. He's tough, and it's fitting that he was there. I think one other comment that I'd like to make is that when I was lucky enough to get this job and my staff came, we wanted postseason to be normal at UVA. We wanted it to be, that's just what happens with UVA football, and it's gratifying now for that to happen another year, not only for our players but our fans, and it's just another sign of the program becoming healthier.
Mike, last.